Hey everyone, and welcome to Dio Plays City Skylines. I had a bunch of my friends telling me that I needed to go ahead and actually play this through and do videos of it. So I'm scrapping my old city that's got about 65,000 people, and I'm starting from scratch. And hopefully taking some of the lessons that I learned from that to actually make an interesting video, or series of videos. So yeah, I am going to start a new game, and we're going to figure out a place to go. So I'm going to have music playing in the background while I'm going that's not from the game. It's called Break for Free. The guy does all these music. It's completely free to use. So anyway, let's have a look and see what we want to use. Some of these maps are actually pretty good. Some of them I've opened up and I've been like, yeah, that's crap. So let's have a look here. I usually pay attention to suitable area for building because I'd like to, have a decent sized city. Diamond Coast isn't too bad, but it looks kind of flat as well. Not too much interesting about it. Lagoon Shore is kind of low. Sandy Beach is kind of nice. Let's go with Sandy Beach. Okay, and I have decided that I am going to call my new city New Camilo, because the only way to get rid of all the drug labs is to just completely start over. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do it on Sandy Beach, even though Camilo's nowhere near a beach. So let's do that. So yeah, I'm going to be trying out some stuff with roads, because this City Skylines isn't so much City Skylines as it is Road Simulator, the game, or Traffic Simulator, the game. It's just not bad at it. Yeah, so this is what we currently have to work with, which isn't bad. I may actually change the rendering mode, because right now it is a bit... Where is the... I think it's under graphics, actually. Temperate. Tropical? I like tropical. Tropical's nice and bright. Maybe a bit too bright, actually. Boreal? Nah, we'll stick with tropical. Or none. None's good. We'll stick with none. I like how it's an option to just go with none. So it looks like this entire area here is ore, if I'm not mistaken. We can't have a look at it yet. So, what are we going to start off with? So we have no choice right now but to do a road, so I'm just going to do the shortest possible road, and that unlocks all the other roads for us. And I'm not going to do anything, so it's just literally unlocking roads. First thing we are going to do is we're going to get the essentials. The essentials basically being that we need a sewage output, we need water for the town, which we're just going to do a water tower because it's fairly cheap and inexpensive. And we also need power, which the best way to get power right at the start is usually a wind turbine. We can go straight to coal, but it's a bit more expensive, and it creates heavy pollution, which I'd rather avoid. My previous game, I had my entire city running on just wind farms, so as long as we have decent wind power out here, which for some reason, apparently down on the beach, wind power is pretty damn good. We could also do wind power in the center here or anywhere else. I'm almost 100% certain that this kind of surface, yeah, that's ore. You can kind of see. Pretty. Yeah, so we are going to start off with sewage output. So, if we pay attention to the way the water's flowing, so water's coming down that way. It looks like water is actually coming down. Oh no, it's actually going around. Okay. It doesn't matter too much, because wherever we're outputting sewage right now, it's not going to matter so much in the future, because we will move it, and the pollution will pass. But for now, we will put it here, so that as the water flows, it'll probably go down that way, probably end up polluting that area entirely. This beautiful sandy beach is going to look awful. We will try to fix that fairly quickly, because I'd rather not completely pollute these beaches for overly long. Looks like something in the water there. Anyway, let's get to work. So, we can get a water tower. It doesn't really matter where you place these. So I'm just going to place it right at the front of town. So we've got water, And now we need power. So where are we going to put power? We could do a nice little wind farm up here. But if this is indeed... Oh, maybe it's not. It looks like the ore is in this general vicinity and not on top of this little hill. There's a little bit on top of the hill. But we could do a wind farm up here. But that's probably not going to be able to get overly large. If we do a wind farm down on the coast here, it's not sandy, so I'm not particularly attached to having this as a nice little, you know, thing that we keep in the town. So yeah, we'll use this area to create a nice big wind farm. I found that wind farms are fantastic. They're actually really good at generating a decent amount of power. Early on in the game, it's really nice. You know, until we get dams and the ability to actually do solar power, we can run an entire city on wind power. So now we've got a pretty decent bank balance to work with, and I am going to make roads. So, of course, we've got the left lane turned on because otherwise I'm going to get super confused. I'm going to leave snapping on, and we'll stretch this out to around there. There we go. This part of the game, I always don't like that much, simply because I don't have access to all the neat tools that I would otherwise have. I've got the very basics, but I would much rather have access to all the cool stuff, like, you know, highways and such. Not that I should be really making really expensive roads right now, but it would be nice to have access to that stuff. Alright, we're not going to go overboard with the larger roads, but we want to generally think about how this area is going to be laid out, right? So, we probably want to keep this intersection in terms of, you know, in future we probably want to upgrade it so that it has a higher capacity for cars. But right now we want to keep this intersection, which means that we want the highway to probably run down here. I don't even think we can. It looks a bit too far to stretch a bridge over there. So in that case, from the looks of it, what we are going to be doing is running the highway down here and maybe turning off and running over it onto this island here, which means that this entire area over here is probably going to be fairly free to do stuff in. Alternatively, we could always, you know, pull the highway around this way and have it connect up with the highway over there somewhere. But I think that doesn't really make sense. We want a nice big stretching thing so people can get around on it. So the highway there is actually pretty good already. But basically what that means is that we want this to run down and we'll have it turn off to the right. Which means we don't want to build anything in this like kind of area along this path. We're going to keep that kind of separated out. We can't currently district it off, so I know not to build there in future. We'll just not be dumb, basically. We will not be dumb, and we will build it along there in future. But what we're going to do is, because we're going to have a lot of residential and a lot of city around this general area, we are going to build other lanes alongside the highway, so they have plenty of areas to actually get off and enter the city. I think that's the most efficient way to get cars in and out of the city without causing massive traffic issues. That's been my general experience so far. So, given that this is all ore right now, this seems like a decent area to currently start building a nice little town in. So, what we will do is we will start building a road, we'll turn off snapping, and we'll start going this way. So, we'll start off straight here, so that we can actually connect these roads up to it, and we will bring it out a fair bit, maybe like to there, give it a nice curve, and that way we can have this nice big area here to start building a residential area. So, let's get this down. Oh, I'll turn snapping back on and go to straight roads. Go here, there we go. So that's fairly long. And now what we'll do is we'll start doing roads. So we want to stay fairly far away from this intersection, because once we actually have the freeway, or the highway actually built properly, there's going to be another lane running around here, and we're going to have a lot of intersections here. So the further down we can actually get away from the highway intersection, the interchange, the better, basically. So we'll start over here. We'll go back to our curvy roads, and we will stretch out this way. So I normally like to do big curvy roads for my residential areas, and fairly straight ones for my industrial. But knowing that Dylan is probably going to end up watching this video, I think I will actually try to do something interesting with straighter roads this time around. So we'll go straight roads for now. We might go with another residential area that's a bit more curvy, but curvy roads for big roads, straight roads for otherwise. Or maybe straight roads and curvy roads contained. We'll figure it out. We'll go with straight road for now. We don't want to go overboard with this, because we only need a very basic kind of area to work in. We want to give ourselves plenty of room next to the highway. We also want to stay away from the sound, so we don't get a whole bunch of sound pollution. That should be a decent enough distance. We want to keep some distance away from the main road as well, for similar reasons. But we can actually build houses along that and such, so about there. And then if we come down to here, that's good. Now, so, we've already got a problem. This area here, this intersection, if we have lots of traffic in future, which, if this place ends up growing up, that's two intersections really close together. So we probably don't want this intersection here if we can help it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to refund ourselves that. And we're already going to start going crazy with roads, like I was just saying I'm not going to do. And we're going to do an overpass. So we can go over here. I should turn on road stepping, so I can go straight road. There we go. That's better. Okay. Sorry if I'm sniffling a bit. I've got hay fever at the moment. It's really annoying. So, go to there. Alright. Now what we are going to do is, I would much rather have an intersection up here, since it's a nice distance away from the road there. So if cars end up stopping up here, it doesn't matter too much. Again, don't want to go overboard, but we've still got plenty of money right now, and we've already got all the essentials, except for the pipes and such, which can get rather expensive, so we'll do that in a little bit. But we'll go out to here, to here, to here, and we'll do something interesting with the road here. Maybe like to there. So we're not going overly straight. We want to have a nice, interesting shape. Cool. Okay. Now, before I forget, we need pipes and other things like power lines. So, pipes. We are going to. So typically, I don't get fancy with my pipes. I don't try to run them under roads or anything like that. I typically try to do just like kind of a grid. So we're going to run that up to there. We're going to run this across to here, down to here, over to here, up to here. There we go. And now we can build another one here, and it's just going to cover everything up really cheap. Nice and cheap. And we can connect this up to the network, so we have water. Done! That's it. That's really simple, really cheap. Now we can connect up power. Now this isn't going to be so cheap. The problem with power is always getting power to houses that are kind of in the area you're currently building in. So we're going to have to go over the roads here and get up to like here. I should do it. So I've got lots of space that I'm not using up, but it's okay because in future we'll need that to move out. We're going to need space to expand. Okay. Now, let's get back to the roads here. So the thing about intersections is that we could put up intersections that are just one way, but I'm fairly certain if we do that, just as a test of a theory. Okay, so it does create stoplights, which is going to create traffic problems. It shouldn't matter too much in here because it's not going to be overly dense unless we start we change this area to high density residential per se. But we won't do that for now. We will assume that we are not going to make this high density residential, but we are going to take care with our road usage anyway. Now, we've got this space underneath the bridge. I'm fairly certain we can actually fit a road under here. Maybe not. Yeah, we can't. Okay, that's fine. So instead, we are going to start going and making a nice grid-based thing. So in these sorts of areas, I don't mind too much doing lots of intersections. It's just that this is kind of our connecting road to the main road. So I don't want to do overly much with this. In fact, we may actually upgrade this road to a full lane road, so that in future this can become 6-lane, 4-lane, and then this stuff connecting off of it remains 2. Let's do that. Let's do that. I've been wanting to make better use of my 4-lane roads. Only problem is we've got to do the overpassing. That's fine. We still have tons of money. So, 4-lane road. I always get my 4-lane and 6-lane roads mixed up. Okay, so that's now a 4-lane road. It's just going to be kind of like a service road connecting up the 2 residential areas here. So that's fine. Okay. So you want to turn this up. There we go. Down. And onto that road. Cool. Okay. It's already looking kind of cool. Now. So, I always try to fill out as much of the space as I possibly can. It's not particularly good if you want to have, like, parks and such in these areas, because sometimes parks are really big. Typically when I do parks, I end up just doing, like, playgrounds and plazas. Since they're really efficient, they use a decent amount of space, like it's like a 4x4 space. Yeah, so we'll have the have a nice little roundabout there. It fills out the space nicely. I think that's a good shape. So we'll go with this one, and we'll do the same thing. Again, trying to keep intersections to a minimum. That's why I've got a nice distance from the intersection there. That's a distance from the intersection there, and the intersection here is going to be less used, so it's fine. Now, this one's an interesting one, so we're going to run across there. Again, minimizing use of intersections, so this is now one big intersection rather than a second intersection down here, and doubling up on space. We're going to go up to here. We don't want to connect to there because that's that's another really close intersection. Go to there, and we'll have a second one coming off to here. And this one I don't mind too much actually connecting it up because it's far away from the actual service road. And we'll do another one down here this way. We'll connect it all the way up, I think, actually. Yeah, let's do that. And I think that's a tiny little space. We're going to get not many houses or anything with that, so I'm not going to even bother. Still got 20,000, so we're good. We are doing very good. Now, don't do the same mistake that I always do, because I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it this time. Don't put in your power lines and then just fill in this entire space and get really upset when houses start building over here and start complaining about not having power. We're going to build houses here. We're literally just going to zone out these 2 areas, and we're going to let those build up so that when they start building, power's on immediately. They don't complain. And then we can start filling out the rest of the areas. Even though it's probably not necessary, I typically stick to doing commercial along these nice big service roads. But we're gonna do that anyway. When it gets later in the game, I usually just end out throwing in stuff willy-nilly. Like some commercial here, some residential here, some offices here. Industrial's always separated off by itself. But I typically try to mix it up with zones. Offices, residential, and commercial always get mixed up together. So we'll build those down there. See, I almost did it again. See, these will build out. So let's get rid of a couple of these so that we've got these ones connected up to the power lines first. And then we can start building up that way. And I think that's it. I think that's all we need. I think so. Okay, we'll unpause. And we'll speed it up because that's way too slow. Got houses building already. So we're losing money, but that's expected. People are upset because there's literally no people. But that will start changing. We've got water already, and people will start moving in. We'll start paying off our debt. Now we've got those houses already built up, and we've connected them to the power lines. We can start filling in the rest of this. We don't want to go too far, because we don't want to, start pissing off more people. We'll go out to there. That seems good. Just unpause it again. In fact, I could just be zoning these while it's all getting built up. So, start zoning more here. Start zoning more over here. Okay, we're starting to see a demand for everything but residential now, which is good. So, once we actually start building some offices that... Yeah, there we go. That's my cue to destroy these things. It's going to disconnect the power there very briefly, but once that building is up, which it now is, power's back on. Cool. Alright. And our money situation is improving. Cool. Okay. So, we'll keep that running. Industrial demand is going through the roof. And we will solve that problem in a moment. First things first, I want to get these zoned out so that we can actually start building some commercial areas down here. Once we get the access to decorations and stuff, I'll do a path from this residential area down into the commercial district here, because it looks nice. I often forget to do that in my larger areas, but anyway. Okay. So, one of the other lessons learned, or we're going to say it's a lesson learned, is that we shouldn't have this residential area connecting up to this big industrial area we're going to make via a service road. We're going to have this have its own service road that connects up to the freeway at a different point from the residential area, so that all the trucks and such turn off the freeway to go into the industrial area and don't get all clogged up trying to get off at the exact same exit as the residential area. It's just, it makes sense to do it that way. So we're going to go another 4-lane road, and we are going to try and not take up too much of this ore space. This ore is a is a non wow, my brain's dead. It's a resource that we'll use up. So we don't want to put too much road over resources that we can actually use. But once we actually use up all the stuff here, we'll probably swap the area over and make it into a really nice little like forest instead. We'll plant a whole bunch of trees, and we'll make it into a wood kind of industry area. Or maybe even just keep it standard industry, like dirty industry. Okay. So, we've got this connected up here, so we want to make this... We will destroy this connection later on. In fact, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this the fancy way. We may actually be able to maintain this connection once we get the actual highway in. There we go. That is not at all nicely curved, but that's fine. Because it's only temporary. We're going to solve that problem later on. Right now, we are just going full-on utilitarian, just getting in everything we need. We really need this industrial zone to start helping us pay money back. So, let us just go with straight lines. Whoops. Straight lines, not curved ones. Straight lines are not at all helpful in us actually feeling out this area, but it's okay. We will make do. We will make do with straight lines. Normally I would go with curved lines, but we will have fun with some straight lines. So, let's go out to here. Let's go down to here, and come back to here. And we will put a nice big straight line this way instead, because otherwise we're going to create too many close intersections. And then we are going to flood fill all that. Okay, now the thing we have to consider here is water. So let's get that out, get that down to there. We may have problems here. Power first. No, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna have no problems. He says tentatively before he starts having problems. Should be okay. Put that down to there-ish. Yeah, okay. So there's gonna be a couple of places in here that aren't gonna have water, but that's fine because we will start making money very soon. Why isn't... Did we make the wrong building? Oh, unpowered. Okay, that's fine. We will fix that. I knew I was forgetting something. It was going to happen. I was going to forget something. 134, 833, 134, 132. We're making money back, gradually. They're all complaining. How are they complaining about power? Oh, we've run out of power. Okay. It's alright, because we don't have loans yet. It's not okay. It is not okay at all. Everything has gone wrong. And they are going to be unpowered, which means they aren't going to be paying taxes. Great. Which means we're just going to continue bleeding money for a while. I turned off the tweeter notifications. They're going to just keep them popping up there with a number, but we're not going to actually have any notifications from them. Well, this is a problem. Our population's growing, at least. We are gradually making more money, because people are moving in. Sewage problems are getting intense, because I'm not paying attention. And this may have already gone completely wrong, but it's okay. I think. No, it's not okay. We are losing money because we're losing people. Or maybe that's because we've run out of space. No, we are definitely losing people. This isn't good. I can't believe I forgot that. That is a new mistake. Oh, no, we're growing again. Oh, because all the people pissed off moved out. But we're still bleeding money. So it hasn't really solved our problem. Okay. I didn't save. Okay. So I've gotten us to around the same point that we were at before. And this time 1,000 times better, because we aren't... Well, we're losing a bunch of money. We are losing a whole lot of money. But right now, we are not so bad off. Because, whoops, tool. We actually have everything linked up. It occurred to me as well that I hadn't linked up the water tower either. So we weren't even getting water. We weren't getting storage. We weren't getting water. I just hadn't linked anything up with power because I completely forget that these things require power. Yeah. Anyway, at any rate, we are actually developing a city now. We are in a good position. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on things over here. Make sure, because these commercial buildings will just gain power from the residential area there, so that power line's fine. But they are, we're asking for a whole lot more commercial now, so we're gonna put some more in. I'm gonna try and keep the game moving while I build stuff, because I would rather not pause for overly long unless I'm doing like major freeway work or something like that, because then it can get pretty expensive if you don't pay attention to what you're doing. So I think that residential area is going to be fine for now. We're making money back. We're gaining citizens. We don't have quite as many citizens as we were at before, but we're doing okay. We are doing okay. Now the question is, we're almost in the green, or the white. Question is, what problems we're going to start facing. Usually this early in the game, there's not so many problems as much as it is just getting everything set in. That issue I was having with not paying attention, it's pretty common. Starts can always be pretty rough. Put some residential in here. Now that we're ready to expand a bit more. They are just eating up this residential right now. We will start putting more residential over this side, just as soon as I am satisfied that we've done everything we can on this side. Put some more on this road. Residential here is probably going to end up getting destroyed because we've moved that lane up. We're having power problems. I knew it was going to happen. It's okay. We're growing. We're growing fairly fast, so we can afford to get more power stuff soon. We won't spend any money on roads just yet, because we don't need to expand the industrial area. I was just about to put some more industrial down, but then the demand went down, so... probably won't be too long now. We're almost at the point where we can reach another milestone. It's just a matter of waiting until we can put down another power line. Or another wind turbine, rather. Residential demand is going through the roof. So, whoops, didn't mean to pause that. I'm going to start building over here. And we'll link up power shortly. Let's build within this area first. We do need to link up power across that bridge. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we can actually get a loan, which is very helpful this early in the game. I will do that in a moment. I'm just going to pause so I can actually... Well, I'm not going to pause. I said to myself I wasn't going to pause. I'm not going to pause. We're going to put in a whole bunch of that. You don't need that one there, because that was just going to be a little annoying building. It's slowed down, so let's speed that up. And let's go get another wind turbine down here, since we can afford it now. We can afford several if we wanted to. We're going to put that there. Okay. So that should give us some more power. I'm not going to go overboard with buying those, because we need to think more about expanding roads and such before we start buying more of those. Industrial demand is going through the roof again, so we're going to buy more industrial areas. That road is just off. Damn it. Perfectionist in me is going to go crazy unless I get that right. There we go. And we're going to have... No, we're not going to do an intersection there. We're going to do an intersection here. And we are going to just flood fill... Not with residential, with that. Okay, now. We're going to start getting more of these over as well. So I tried to replicate the original game as much as I could. Down to even having the grid-based kind of thing. Wow, that did not go straight, but whatever, it's fine. First world problems in game form. Let's pull this out here. We're gonna have to start thinking about actually getting more residential area soon, because this is going kind of crazy. So, like around there, down to there. Trash. People want the trash man. So, we're going to have to start thinking about where do we want our trash pickup to kind of take place. Okay, so let's pause this for a moment and think about this. So, typically, what I've found is that it's a really, really good idea to actually have trash connected up to the highway network rather than the residential or the industrial network, because otherwise the garbage trucks don't really get around very far. So we want to keep these as close to this kind of main highway as humanly possible, because this highway that's stretching all the way up and down here, we don't want to really touch that much. We want to make sure that that highway stays intact so that we can do plenty with it. So it's going to be ugly, you know, people are going to come into the town and be all like, ugh, garbage dump. But we're going to have our trash somewhere in here. And we're going to connect it straight up to this highway. So we will have, let's just have a two-way for now. We do have to think about the fact we've got this water tower here right now, but that's not too hard to move around later on. So I'm not gonna be specific. I am literally just gonna pull this out to here, and we are going to just slap a garbage dump like right there. Only problem is that is not going to actually service town. That's going to actually service that. Okay. Delete that. Build this out. Go over it. It's okay, this is going to get deleted later on because this is just a temporary solution to make sure that we can actually get trash. It's a bit more like it. So now we can actually do this down here too. Oops, let me do that. To there. Wait. Odd. Ah, it's the water tower getting in the way. Alright, water tower's getting moved sooner rather than later. We'll move that down to there. That'll do. It's okay, the water tower is going to not be a permanent resident of our town. That's still not liking that. No, don't connect up. Nope, okay. This this is when we cheat. Now we start out here first. And we just go like that. That's freaking fine. That's enough. That's more than enough. So now cars have a garbage trucks have a way on and off. We can even upgrade that to one-way roads, but I frankly don't care enough right now to do that. So we can actually get a medical center. We are going to do that. So we're going to slap it smack dab in the middle of the town. This is the one problem with having lots of intersections, like, you know, this overpass here. Because if we put the medical center right here, none of these areas are actually going to get serviced. But if we put it up here, it's a bit better coverage. So we'll probably end up destroying some of the houses. This will end up being right along the side of the road there, so we'll continue stretching up north. So we will put it up like there. There should be enough room. Destroyed some houses in the process, but that's what you get. Alright. We need more power, we need more residential. We are going to put this power plant. Let's put it... Let's get 2. Let's put one there. Oh, I don't have enough money. What happened to my money? Oh. Now I just got another achievement. Yeah. Worthy village. That grew up far faster than I was expecting it to. So let's put another... Now that we have the room... Don't have the money, rather. Okay. So we're going to have to think about another expansion. We've got a massive demand for residential. So we're going to pull this road down here. Fairly harsh kind of turn, but that's fine. And at some point, it'll connect back up with the highway. In fact... Oh no, we've got plenty of room. We've got plenty of room before we want to actually go stretching the highway out that way. So we will continue doing this down that way. Yep. Okay. Now, thing is, we can put a residential area in here, but we don't want to have it too big. We don't want to have it get in front of the highway. Otherwise, we're going to have to start, you know, thinking about massive reconstruction of the entire city. So instead... Oh! Water just became a problem. Ah, we lost power. Okay. Well, that's fine, because we have the money now that we can actually afford to get a water pumping station instead. We're going to put that all the way over here. We can connect that up. It kind of means it was a wasted cost in terms of buying that water tower, or moving that water tower, but yeah, no, we've sunk the cost. It's fine. In fact, we can literally just use it. No, we're not going to use it. We're literally just going to leave it there. We can complain about power all at once. But, unpause. We have access to so much stuff now, it's confusing me. So that kind of has a main road servicing all those, because that main road's going to connect up to the freeway again. We'll probably have it curl around so we're not connecting straight up right next to this other interchange. We'll put down some more commercial here. Oh, that's fine. Put that there as well. And we kind of want this area here to connect up to another one that's connecting down to the road here. So we will do that. So we will come in. In fact, this should actually be another 4-lane street, honestly, because there's lots of room out there to move into. So have this another 4-lane out here. Like that. That'll do. Now, I keep on wanting to reach that nice curvy road, but I told myself I wasn't going to do it. So we want to have the intersection not too close. We want to have this kind of be a nice, interesting shape. Destroy a house. Because I didn't like the people in the house in particular. That can be a roundabout, and we can start doing an interesting shape down this way. Have another roundabout, perhaps. Or maybe we should have like a... This would be our one curvy road in this area. We'll just have like a little roundabout in here, maybe. There we go. Oh, that fills up the space awfully. That's terrible. That is bad, and I should feel bad. I'm going to pause it real quick so I can make sure I actually get the refund for that. Maybe something a bit more substantially sized, but that's just going to start clipping into everything else. So we're not going to do a roundabout there. We are going to just do a straight road with a little kind of... No, we could actually connect that up to there, but we want to not screw up. Okay. Let's do it from there. That seems good. There. That's fine. It means these areas are probably going to have trouble with getting access to things. We have a fire in town. We don't have enough money for a fire station. That's not really great, but whatever. We'll start putting down more houses since we have a massive demand for it. We really need to pay attention to that. Because every time we are not building houses, and we have demand for houses, that's money we're not making. So let's just build a whole ton of houses in here. In fact, let's even drag some houses down here. Just go completely overboard. We have a whole bunch of fires breaking out. How much is the fire station? 12,000. Okay. We're making plenty of money, so we should be able to make that 12,000 in no time. So I think this is actually money you make per week, not necessarily per day, because otherwise my money would be through the roof right now. We've got places burning down because people are ridiculously stupid right now. We do have the ability to get a primary school right now, which does help with your ability to stop people burning down their houses. This is all places that need people to actually work, so we need more people. Water problems again? Really? Aha! I did it again. Somebody is going to watch that and just be like, Matthew, you idiot! You're not paying attention! But it's okay, because this time it wasn't a game-ending problem. It's okay. I know that is also not linked up, but it's okay. We will fix it, eventually. By removing it. Which isn't really fixing it, it's just removing the problem, but... Okay. It seems to be going fairly well so far. Except for my, completely missing every single issue. We've got abandoned places because they had lack of... I'm guessing it's because they had a lack of employees. Yep. We have got a request for more industrial, but I'm going to wait until that's a bit more solid before I start building more industrial. More houses? Oh, yes. Okay, that's fine. We're going to get in here and we're going to build some more pipes. There we go. There we go. Efficient. Places move down here. We do have enough money now that we can get a fire station, and fire station seems kind of pressing given the fact that everybody's burning down their houses. So we want to get a spot where we have a decent amount of coverage. It means we're going to need another fire station down here. We may actually want to do a... Oh, wow. We are growing really fast. We may actually want to do a second intersection at some point. Because right now it is kind of silly how very hard it is to cover up an area. So we might do that. What sort of coverage do I get? Hang on. We might get better coverage out here. That'll do. That is fine. We've also got a problem with crime, but we have plenty of money now, so we can actually fix that. I'm going to turn the speed back up. In fact, we can probably put the police station right next to the firehouse and get similar coverage. Yep. That makes sense. And we can also get ourselves a school even. We have lots of money. So primary schools are, it's seemingly on purpose, incapable of covering a very large area. So we are going to put this like smack dab in the middle of like a residential district somewhere. We could do it further down. We've got power problems again. Everything's happening. That'll do. That'll be fine. Okay, power. Need another air turbine. Right there. I'm surprised we even actually have the money for that. We've got more residential demand. It's insane. We are just... everybody wants to move to New Camilo. They've heard that it's the less shitty Camilo. There's constant power outages, but everybody in Camilo knows that's just par for the course. And we want to be careful of that highway, so we want to give ourselves some room. That should be fine. Now this intersection we're going to do something interesting with. I'm going to take a page. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to take a page out of the book of Perth and interesting intersections. Because there's something that Perth does that I really want to try out and actually see if it works in City Skylines. We're not going to bother connecting up this to that one because it's really not far apart enough to bother, and it's going to connect to the highway anyway. So we will get some roads in here. We can't do too much, simply because we don't have a lot of money right now. But we will get in there eventually. We'll probably connect up like a standard kind of side road, though that may cause problems. We can always try it and see how it goes. Because it basically means that people... The way the traffic flow is going to work, and I guarantee this, is that traffic will come down here, they'll get to this intersection, they'll be like, but I want to get down to this area. So I'm going to get off the highway, you know, of this 4-lane road, and I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to clog up this poor little 2-lane road, just so I can get to, you know, a freaking stupid house out here. I get the feeling that's what's going to happen. Like, just given my experiences with traffic in this game, I'm betting that's what's going to happen. We want this to connect up to the highway, so we probably want to make sure that any connection we have to the residential area we're going to have in here is like right in the middle, so we avoid the 2 intersections. So we'll do it this way. We won't connect it up to that, not yet. We will connect it up to that though. We will make an overpass. So we'll keep that in mind. Put that to there. Put this out to like maybe here. Here. Got like a little fork. Put that to there. Alright. Now. So, we're going to destroy some commercial here to do this. That's fine. We need to page up. So we want to get this a decent distance away. It's going to destroy a fairly large plot of land, but that's just something we have to deal with. Do this down here as well. And just because I like to keep everything nice and symmetrical. Oh, we're out of money. Okay. That's fine. We're making money. This is why I need to keep the game unpaused. No, we don't want that. Bad, Matt. Bad. We'll do houses here instead. We'll just do a nice big block of houses in the middle of that. We'll wait for some money to come in. We can take out a loan. We have the money for it. What sort of size loans do we have? $403 a week. We are making a lot of money right now, so we'll take that loan. And we can pay... yeah, we can pay it off pretty quick. So, we will pause it again, so that we can actually finish working on that road. Page down. That looks good. And, yeah, we'll connect it to there. That's fine. Get rid of that. Paint those in. And we'll have this one be kind of our road. That connects everything else up. You know what, let's actually put a road in here. Probably don't want to go too far, like there. That's fine. That is more than fine. Okay. Paint this in, and we'll unpause it as well, since we can actually just start building houses. Just so we keep on making money. We can have water problems, because we haven't linked up the water system yet, but that's fine, we will get to that. That's why I should just do flood fills, because since we're doing straight roads, it's very easy to just kind of flood fill things. Curved roads definitely don't use space very well, but they're also kind of pretty, and I already miss them. Though this is kind of an interesting design, honestly. I don't mind it. I kind of like this shape. Look at that. We've just had a massive demand spike up for our industrial. So let's keep that. Actually, we don't have much room up that way for that side, but yeah, let's do it this way. And we've got kind of interesting shape going here. So let's do this side this time. And we will fill that in. It's very much uphill, but whatever. They'll make do. Keep this going out. In fact, we won't take it that far because we don't need it to go that far just yet. We'll take it out to here. There we go. We've still got industrial demand. So we will make another little square industrial area. It's not going to be a perfect square because for some reason that ended up not being the right shape. But what should I say? Yeah, we can do another intersection here. Because making kind of decent use of intersections like that seems to work fairly well. It seems like an intersection with 4 turns works out better. I did say I was going to do something with this intersection, and I also just noticed we have major power issues. Oh wow, we're already creating a bunch of pollution. Let's get this power issue solved. I'm going to be determined to not use dirty power. I paused again, I just noticed. So let's get that in there, and that in there. We can build parks and everything now, but I'm not going to do that just yet. We can destroy that water tower. I don't particularly care about it. More residential demand. We just got done building all that. We've got more residential demand. Alright. So actually, first things first, we can actually see our resources now. What is that? It's ore. Okay, yeah, it is ore. I predicted it. So, there's also forest kind of on top of there, but the moment we start developing that, it's going to turn into nothing. So, we do have a forest down here on the coast, which is right next to our current industrial area. So what my thinking is that we build out this industrial area, like this big area here, we turn it into an ore industrial area, we soak up all the materials, we swap it back to dirty industrial, and then we make this into a nice little fertile kind of industrial area. Wow, there is a lot of forest. That's all going to get turned into city. That's the bottom line. That's going to be our city area. This side will be our industrial kind of area. Yep, okay. Now, we need to get more residential down. It's insane. Do we have access to... No, we don't have access to highways yet. Okay, we just have to build smart. Which, given that this is me, not easy to do. Okay. Still got more room. We probably want to bring that highway like all the way down to here before going over to there. So basically we can continue building this area down until we get to that tree line. We've got snapping on, cool. There we go. Now the thing is that it is going to curve in, so we have to keep on accounting for that fact. So we probably want it to go to like there. Should be fine. Now, this little residential area here will connect up to everything. So, we will... Curved roads, not happening. We'll have it come out to here. Wow, that worked surprisingly well. Yep, we do that. What am I doing? I was going to put an intersection there. I'm going crazy. We'll do a road down this way. Do a road down to like here-ish. Here-ish. And we'll connect back up to that intersection there. That's a really nice shape, actually. Intersection there. And then... what's the best way to make use of this space? Wow, that's curving. That's annoying. Probably bring it up... no, that's not far enough up. In fact, we can probably just... yeah, let's do it this way. Up here. Go from there to there. Cool. That works. I am happy with that. Alright. Now we want to put in a whole bunch of residential. Why'd I go with the small brush? That was silly. I could just flood fill this, but meh. Well, actually, I should have flood filled this because we've got area up here we want to make commercial. I know it's not really necessary to do commercial like that, but I like to do it like that. I like to have all my commercial area along main roads. We can start building houses along this main road, but I don't imagine people, you know, really wanting to live along a massive 4-lane street like that. I certainly wouldn't want to live on a massive 4-lane street. So, do this. Do this. Do this. These all we can flood fill. Cool. Ah, almost forgot. Water. We're gonna probably have more... oh, we have run out of money again. Okay. I just paused it for no reason. Alright, it's gonna have water problems, but we will make short work of that now that we have money. Now we have watered up that area. Now I said we're going to do something interesting with the intersection up here. So we're going to start dealing with the fact that we're going to have traffic coming through here quite a bit, probably. So we're going to have traffic going off this way and this way as well. They'll probably, this 4-lane street will probably go down here. We've already got a lot of traffic coming in and out of the industrial area, so we probably want to have another intersection down here. Have that be a one-way intersection. We'll deal with that in a second. Stay on task. So, it's this interesting thing in Perth where they have one-way streets at intersections, and I'm wondering if we can actually replicate this. Cool. Okay. What if we better do it with? Aha! We can do it. Okay. So this is going to be a one-way street that separates off of here and basically allows traffic to go straight through without having to stop at the lights. Which is going to be good. So we can do that. And we could potentially do the same for the other side. So see, these guys don't... maybe they do have to stop. I'm going to keep that anyway and just see how it goes. Because maybe it will work. Maybe it will actually work. At the very least, it's going to be interesting. That is the wrong way. Because we basically want this to be a roundabout. So we'll have it come down to there, have that come down to there, and have that come back up to there. That is an interesting and very large intersection, which may just make for worse lights, honestly. But we'll see how it goes. It seems to be okay. It does seem to be okay. Most Perth intersections will basically only do this for the major turns. So for here, like, we've got a lot of traffic on this road. Traffic has slowed down because of that. Oh, the game is also just running slowly. What does it look like sped up? Yeah, traffic's just stopping at multiple lights. It doesn't work the same way that it works in Perth. That's the bottom line. So let's erase these. Oh, it's disappointing. I was kind of hoping that we could do some fun tricks to smooth out the speed of traffic, but it doesn't seem to work the same way it works in the real world. Because this looks like it's going to just, yeah, it flows much smoother without all those kind of turns. It might work better with the highway off-ramps, perhaps, which would be a weird thing, but it's a thing we can try later on. When we have more money as well. So we'll get that going. Okay. Industrial. Alright, that's the other problem. We haven't actually dealt with the fire situation over here. So first things first, we are going to put roads up. We are going to have... yeah, this intersection. We'll go this way. We're going to flood fill this. Kind of weird pattern we're creating here. I might actually just fill out the intersections, but we'll see how it goes, because these are going to have a decent amount of traffic coming through them. We're going to put a fire station. Probably like... that'll do. That will do. Alright. How are we doing for police? Police coverage is less than ideal. Actually, let's check the rest of our coverage. So, that overpass has given us a bit more coverage down here, but we're still going to need to have more coverage on, you know, more buildings down this way. That's just the way it goes, really, in this game. We can get a bus port now. I don't think we have enough traffic issues just yet to do that. It's good for happiness, but we also have to think about our financial situation. So, we do have access to a high school, and we can do that. First things first, though. We're going to put in another school. We're having a really hard time with our coverage. Probably down here is going to be good. Means we're going to have oddly uneducated areas that are right next to better educated areas. But we'll do that. And we'll do a high school, like, at the intersection right across the street. Because that's going to cover a much larger area. Yep, that was good. And now we're out of money, so we're going to wait and get some money back. So we can zone some more commercial since it's asking for it, but it's also dropping because it's already building in houses. And listen to all that pinging. That's the sound of us getting a whole bunch of houses upgraded. Because they're all super happy about the high school and everything we now have there. We have access to parks now, which we can do stuff with. In fact, while we've got not a high demand... so I think this is... I only noticed this just recently. I have access to a Japanese garden, which is really pretty. But anyway, we're going to do, while stuff is building, access to the main area. So this is going to destroy a building. I frankly don't care. They're going to get all upset with me. That was only a tiny building, so I don't care. I tend to try and avoid destroying buildings wherever it's possible to do parks and such, but sometimes it's just unavoidable, really. Like there. Like, if I want to do anything but a straight path, that was going to just have problems. Here I think I can avoid... wow, I'm just going to destroy 2 houses instead. Again, don't particularly care. We can do walks, you know, people give the people... an ability to just go over the street rather than having to cross over at an intersection. But I'm not going to do that just yet. Power problems. Again, wonderful. Let's deal with that. That is kind of a priority. We have a decent amount of money, but it's still going to cost us 6,000. So we're only going to put down 1 for now. That should keep us going for a little while. We put in some more roads. Not roads. Paths. Put a path in here, because that only destroyed a little area rather than destroying a full-fledged house. We've got the path up here going across that intersection would be nice. So let's do down to here. It's going to destroy 2 houses, but again, don't particularly care. Do a path here. That's a nice area for a path. We could also do a path here, actually. Perfect. We don't even have to destroy anything to do that one. And here. Wonderful. We can even do another one here, actually. That's at a nice intersection. See, that was a good use of time. Now we have a massive, massive residential request again. We've got buildings over here burning down. I guess that building was on fire anyway. Alright, health over here is very low. We have the money to deal with that. Though we could also pay off our loan. We are making a decent amount of money now, so we could pay off our loan. Medical clinic. Let's go ahead and plonk that down there. And we'll connect this road up to this multi-lane street in a second. In fact, let's just do that right now. We've got a whole bunch of desire to expand, so we'll do that. Let's get this out. Not overly far, because again, in fact, it already looks like we've gone past the point we should have been at, because we want to make sure we have access lanes for the highway. So it's going to come down this way, go past the residential area, and kind of go down there. So it's going to be kind of like a curvy shape, which makes sense, honestly, because we want to have it accessing this area in here too. So that's okay. We can still work with that. So we'll bring that out to here, and we will put in a 2-lane street. Straight. There we go. Cool. That should have access from the school and everything now as well. Or at least better coverage, yeah, has much better coverage at the school. High school, primary school, we are doing okay. House burned down up there. Actually, how's our fire coverage? Fire coverage down here is not good. We'd have the money to fix it, it's fine. We'll deal with that later. So, next step. That is no longer connected to anything. We need more residential, so that's the next step. We can probably build another road here. Honestly, that's a very long stretch of road without an intersection. So I may replace that path with an intersection here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I know less intersections is better, but that's kind of a lack of intersections there, honestly. Okay, so we're going to bring this out. We're going to keep that kind of straight line going. I don't want to go too far. Move that to like here. Go up to there. So that's now connected up to another 2 roads. Yep, okay. Now, we're going to come in from like this point. We'll keep that way. That's curving. Go up to around there. No, it's too far. I'm paying attention to space we have to use. So if we go there, perhaps that's better. Now, could have went up there anyway. Whatever, that's fine. We don't want to do too many just like dead-end streets, honestly. It's going to cause problems. Oh, hey, we can do this. We can do another overpass. I like that. Ah, money problems. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. I literally just put that road down, yes, I know. But it's okay, because we have money now. There we go. That is a really weird ass shape. We'll actually connect that down to here as well. That one's fine. And we've got power problems again! And no money. And we're going to put in houses despite our power problems. Because I'm irresponsible. And hey, it's Camilo. We've got to be true to life. Even though it's new Camilo and it's meant to be solving all the problems of the old one. It's okay. We can have substantially less drug labs. It'll be fine. So, I don't know why I'm pausing it. I was pausing it to solve problems that I have no money to solve, so... We've got this tiny little area here for houses, or for buildings. Damn, that's a lot of students already. And we made enough money for another wind turbine. There we go. That should solve that problem. We've got water coverage, that's fine. Perfect. Okay. More industrial! Why are places getting abandoned? Let's pause for a sec to check this out. Not enough workers. It's okay, guy, we are fixing that problem as we speak. Okay. We're going to build another one here. This, and we are going to do this. And we are going to flood film that area. And check our water coverage. We do need more water. Wonderful. Right. No. Bad residential area. Bad. Let's drag that up. Get a little corner shop there going. There too, and there. And this can be residential from that point. Okay, so we now have the ability to actually zone areas. Wow, we've got power problems again. Already. It's okay, we have a bunch of money already. So, we're going to start expanding out our wind farm from the 2 rows of turbines into 3. Get another one of those down. Trash problems as well, that's interesting. Oh, 42% full, that's... Ah, and we're starting to see traffic problems. Do we have access to the highways yet? We do. We don't have enough money to do much with them, because highways are very expensive. We do need to figure out this trash problem. So we're going to pause for a second. They do have trash coverage. Oh, we also have dead people turning up. Not the Walking Dead, thankfully, just dead. But we do need to deal with that trash problem. So maybe a second set of garbage trucks to help out will help. Dead people. We're here to help the dead people. That corner shop we just put down is already going to get booted out. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should do it a bit further along. You know, let the corner shop stay. Just, you know, make it haunted by the dead. Give it that. Okay, when we were $91 in the ditch, but now we're out. We have more abandoned buildings. Everything's getting abandoned. Why is it getting abandoned? No one collected dead people. So literally, this is a quiet corner shop. Apparently there was a corpse inside, and because nobody came by to get it, the business owners were like, "Well, I'm not taking this out. I'm just leaving." And that was the end of that. Honestly, I can't really blame them, because I don't really want to drag a dead person out to the curb, but at the same time, like, if you have a dead person in your store, it's kind of your responsibility. I don't think the government... Does the government actually provide us with hearses to go and, you know, take away our dead? Just in case we're too lazy to do it ourselves? That'd be weird. Government-sponsored hearse companies. That place is on fire. The hillside residents. They're happy about it, though. They're happy. They're fine. More residential. Just this city just constantly wants residential from me. Don't do that, yeah. And I see a little area that could be green that is instead blue. Power issues again. Jeez. See, I don't normally play the game with just constantly running. I usually pause it every time there's an issue and solve it. So this is interesting for me. Let's go all the way down. We have enough money to do a couple of those, and that should let us focus on other problems first. That is making a ton of money. It is also creating a ton of traffic. It may be time to start thinking about a highway. If only to deal with that traffic issue. Because it occurs to me that we have this really nice connection that's meant to speed up traffic that's getting stopped by traffic lights up here. Because it's not a highway connection that it's actually connecting to. So, we need to fix that. We also need to zone this area. So, we are pretty much directly over the ore deposit, which is great. Because I'm fairly certain that ore makes a bunch of money. So if we just sloppily kind of zone this area and do that, and we will name it... We're going to name it. What are we going to name it? We're going to name it Kelmscott, because it may as well just be a dirty hole in the ground. That's what we're going to name it. Okay. And suddenly the power went out. And, oh, the power went out because all the buildings just went and said, oh, hey, we're going to start digging stuff out of the ground, woohoo! And they just started, you know, ripping up. So all those poor people just went out of work. There are now a bunch of unemployed people in town, which is probably why our demand for commercial is increasing, actually. We can meet that demand. Our demand for residential went down because people were losing jobs, obviously. But that's fine by me. It will not take long for these buildings to get built up again. Only problem is that now, because that's all built up, they're going to start complaining about the fact that I don't have power. Why don't I have power? Why did I build my building away from the power lines where I could get power? Well, they can just wait for a building over here to actually start providing them with power. I'm not going in there and screwing around with that right now. We have a bunch of money. I just noticed this. How are we doing for our loan? Oh wow, we paid off our loan already. Cool. Okay. We have crime problem. Oh yeah, we have crime problems. Just like the real place. Do we want? What do we want at a police station? That provides us with pretty good coverage. Yeah, stuff it. Why not? Okay. And since it's right next to the cemetery, we'll call it... I can't think of a funny name. I'm not clever enough. Actually, we should have a few... Yeah, we can actually expand right now. So, we'll go north, east, south. west. I think we want to go east because we want to take the highway down that way. So it'd be a good idea to have it over here first. 3,000 big ones. I think we can do that. Mostly trees. Very little farmland. It's got water access. That's fine. This tile contains water. I can see that. Cool. Well, we'll just purchase there. We can purchase another one. I'm not going to do that yet. What is our crime rate? 7%. That's not too bad. These places are really complaining. We're actually losing population because of the fact that they built their buildings really far away from power. So we're going to have to freaking help them with that. In fact, you know what? I am going to... No, let's not do that. That's dumb because we're going to get rid of it later on, probably. We want to have stuff built up here rather than, you know... Yeah. Let's build power lines. Let's just build them down to here with, you know, power's connected up. There we go. That should power everything on. Cool. We are going to build another turbine. Our electrical availability is pretty good, but with all those industrial buildings gone and building it back up, it's going to jump again, guaranteed. So we have a nice little wind farm going on right now. It's actually much larger than the last one I built, which was keeping a city going for quite some time, so I'm rather impressed. We can build these advanced wind turbines, which cost twice as much. The power output, though, it is a little over twice as much from what we can get from a wind turbine. So we might want to actually start building those in the bay. Yeah, that's not bad. It's actually not bad at all. We can actually expand the wind farm out over the coast. We might do that. Alright, residential demand is increasing once more. Because people have realized, hey, there's actually work turning back up. Yay! And we should start seeing a lot more income, which we are, from our heavy industry, or mining industry. Appropriate that Camilo... Anyway, actually just pause the game, but that's fine. We need a population of 7,000 to actually look at taxation stuff, to increase taxes. But we can go into here, and we are going to increase our taxes on everyone. So last game I found that I was able to increase taxes to around 11 or 12%. We're going to go to 11, it's like an extra 2%. It won't impact our budget too much, but we're going to increase it anyway. Happiness took a bit of a dive for it, but it's going to build back up. Or that might have actually been low already, simply because of the fact that we'd destroyed all those industrial buildings. Okay. We need more residential. We need to not go too far down, because we have to account for the highway coming down this way. So, we're going to go down to like here. We're going to go to here. To here. Connect to there. We might come out from there as well. We'll have a look. See how we go. Ah, that was curving. Nah, that's a bit too close. That's better. We can bring it right up behind the cemetery. Not an efficient use of space. Yeah, we won't do that. We'll bring it up to like here. And then we'll turn it off. And it'll come back. But not connect up. Not yet. Come up to there. We can't connect it there. Damn it. We can connect it. Ah, it's not good. Not good. Okay, we're gonna pause for a sec. We have a lot of money right now, so it's fine. We don't want intersections that close. We're just going to be lazy and we can pull that down to there. Well, we're gonna be super lazy. There. Maybe we can actually link these up and make it a bit more interesting. We don't want to destroy that. That's good. You'll go with that. Now, if I destroy those roads, however, that is going to mean that we're not going to actually get coverage down this far. Which is less than preferable, since it's actually giving us a bit more coverage. We will bring that down, however. We can get rid of this road. And we're going to get rid of this road as well. Just so we can bring that down as far as we need to take it. Ah! Maybe we shouldn't have done that. That's fine. That is okay. And we can do that. That's ugly as hell. I don't care. No, I do care. I care a lot. That's much better. Okay. Anyway, do you want an overpass here? No, I don't think so. It's literally a inroad right there. How's that? There's coverage there we're not actually getting. So maybe we are actually going to bring that up behind the cemetery. Maybe Cemetery Road or something like that. We could do an overpass here, but again, literally a road right there, so it's not that hard to get out to there. We've got a bunch of money, so we're just going to go all out. We're going to connect stuff up to here as well. Or maybe you want to hold off. Maybe you want to keep this kind of all just like one nice residential area. Maybe go up to as far as the freeway once we buy out that area, and then have another residential area like around here. So this will be its own self-contained residential area connected by a 4-lane street that kind of intersects them. That seems like a good idea. In fact, it probably would be a good idea to have another 4-lane road coming down this way. But given that we've got that the highway that's going to come down this way, probably not going to do that just yet. Okay, let's zone this. And how's the water area? Okay, we need to get water in here. There we go. That's good. Okay. Now, let us zone. One great thing about doing these kind of square shapes is the fact that I can use the flood fill tool to actually zone areas. Whereas before, when I was doing really curvy roads on my old city, I was having to do a lot of paintbrush fill, which often gets pretty frustrating, like painting in areas. So, police coverage is good, except for this area here. Fire coverage is terrible, like horrendous, but we will fix that. It's just a matter of where do we want to fix that. We don't want to have it too far up there because otherwise it's going to be a waste. We don't have it too far down here because, again, if we've got the freeway down this way, we'll probably have the 4-lane road going underneath the freeway, highway, whatever. But for now, I think that poor little corner shop is going to be spared because apparently it is in just the perfect position that the firehouse won't actually fit there. But that seems, yeah, that seems like a good spot there. That will do perfectly fine. People across the street from it are going to be really annoyed at the constant ringing as there's another fire, but, you know, kids will love it. They'll think it's hilarious. We need another school, probably. Where do we want to do another school? We don't want to do it too far close to where the highway is going to be, so we will do it like at this intersection here. Yeah, that's nice. Cool. Okay. Now, how's our high school coverage? Still really good. I love the coverage of the high schools. It makes me happy. But the thing we do need is parks. We were doing lots of nice little paths. We weren't really doing much in the way of paths. So we're going to get back to it. We're going to start putting more paths down since we haven't done that for a little while. That path is fine. It's fine. Do another path here. I like paths. The paths is a really cool little addition. Foot traffic is a really important thing in city skylines. Like, you want to have a decent flow of foot traffic around your city because it encourages people to walk. You know, it's like, oh, I could go and hop in my car and drive around to area. That place is on fire. I'm going to... Well, I can't demolish it because it's on fire. So I'll demolish the place next door that's not on fire. Because being on fire makes you superior. Anyway, we are going to build... yeah, as I was saying. The paths, you know, it encourages pedestrians to actually move around, you know. Rather than hop in their car to go to the corner shops, you know, right around the corner from them. They can just, you know, hop outside their door, go across the street. And it also seems to help out, you know, when you start having parks around, which I'm going to do after this. So that pedestrians can actually walk to parks. Turn that off. There we go. Back on. Am I missing any paths? We do have a path there, it's fine. I think we're fine. Yep, okay. So, now, we are going to park it up. So we can put in these nice little Japanese gardens. We don't want to just keep them all on the main roads because that's going to get rid of all our nice commercial areas. But in terms of where we should place the Chinese kind of why do I keep saying Chinese? Japanese parks. I do like actually having them, you know, on the main roads. Simply because they're pretty and they look like they would fit on, you know, like a main road. So I'm going to put this one as soon as it's not intersecting nastily with something. There. And we'll do another one across the road from the cemetery, maybe. Yeah, that looks pretty. Like, look at that. That's so pretty. You can literally, you know, mourn your loved ones at the cemetery and then go across the street and then mourn how pretty that is. I don't know. Parks. So, I find it interesting that the cheapest park in the game is one of the largest. Oh wow, that's a perfect fit. That's actually rather nice. I might do that. Like, it uses up a bunch of space and it doesn't actually give as much happiness as other things, but it looks really pretty. So, we don't want to do super expensive stuff yet. This is mostly, you know, going to be... this area, I imagine, is going to stay kind of like low-density residential. So we'll stick to parks, maybe put a couple of plazas in, not too many. We want to keep them fairly centered around that kind of center line so that we get plenty of coverage from the parks. We'll do this one somewhere around here. It's going to destroy a couple of buildings in the process, but that'll do. Put one there. And we will put another one down here somewhere. You need a lot of parks to actually increase land value by any measurable degree, which is unfortunate. But since... So what is that? It's a small park, but it's bigger than the small playground. Interesting. Maybe at the intersection. That's going to destroy a bunch of really little buildings, so I don't particularly care. And maybe we'll do one more. No, I think that's fine. That's fine for now. People can start moving in. Healthcare, police cover, garbage cover is fine. Water is fine. Power. How is our power levels? Power levels are dropping dramatically. We're going to fix that. Okay, so these cost 12,000 each. So, before we do that, we're going to do 2 more of these right on the coast. There we go. And then we can start doing those further out. Actually, what is our power? Power levels are rising, and then falling, and then rising. Yeah, let's put some down. So let's put 2 down. There we go. They look like they're a part of the wind farm. And we'll keep on expanding them out that way, basically. To make it keep on looking like it's part of the wind farm. We have a demand for commercial that's gradually increasing. Huh, our traffic situation over here solved itself. Interesting. And our money situation is really good. Our water situation is awful. Why are we losing water? Aha! We are running out of capacity. That's fine. So one of the things that I noticed, that I think this will work, so if we run a pipe this way, rather than snapping to the coast, any sewerage or anything like that we put down will actually snap that pipe instead. Yep, see? Much nicer than it just snapping to the coast and moving around willy-nilly. So we'll put this down there. And if we come over to here, similar situation. See, it tries to snap to the pipe as long as it's actually within range. But down here, you know, it's going to be too far away to snap to it. We will put that... No, that's a sewage pipe. That was nearly very bad. Wow, I can get those really close together. We'll put that there, though. That's fine. I'm pretty sure that's now soaking up sand, but... Why are we losing a bunch of people? Oh, the water situation, which should be resolved. How did power get disconnected from it? Did I do that? I must have done that. I didn't even notice. Water problem solved. Population should start increasing again as people move back into their homes. Cool. We've got buildings getting abandoned over here. Why? Not enough workers. Well, that problem should be solving itself right now, so... We have hit 4,800 population, and we have access to pretty much all the roads now, I believe. We have access to more stuff, police headquarters. See, these things are going to be really useful. In my last game, I ended up having like a lot of little police stations and such. This game, I think I'm actually going to start putting these down on main roads right in the center of like multiple districts, so that we can cover multiple areas with much larger buildings, basically. We've got city planning policies, oil industry specialization now, which I don't know why it leaves it that long to get unlocked. I guess it makes you a lot of money. Yeah, cool. Alright. So I think that is a good point to actually call this one on for now. I will continue doing this, and we will return to New Camilo sometime soon. So, until next time.